Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today is Tuesday and it's July the 1st, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a return viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. You know, I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets, so you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. So feel free to like and to share this video, and don't forget to subscribe. So looking back, I would say the month of June for me was very busy. I would call it my month of repair and rehab. I had surgery at two different VA hospitals here in North Carolina. Starting on the 9th, I had surgery at the Fayetteville VA, and then on the 30th, I had another procedure at the Durham VA hospital. I know a lot of times people are spreading second and third hand information about the VA. Let me tell you, as a veteran, I've been a veteran for over 20 plus years now. I served in the military for over 25. I want to share with you honestly my personal take and what I went through. So today, July the 1st, I was released from the hospital this morning and I decided this is going to be my story time. Today is going to be all about me because I'm going to take the few minutes to share with you exactly what I experienced as a VA patient. And just to make sure the video does not get too long and you don't lose interest, I'm going to talk about experiences at both hospitals and I'll try to be brief. And then I'll end it up with just being grateful, talk a little bit about my gratitude and the things I'm especially grateful for. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's begin closer to home at the Fayetteville VA Medical Center. This was the first procedure, the third one in 3 years. The two previous one had been down at Fort Bragg. So this was going to be my first surgical experience at the VA hospital, period, any VA hospital. And anyone who knows me knows I would tell you the truth. I'm honest and I'm fair, but if you don't treat me right, I'm going to tell everyone as well. And let me tell you, this entire process far exceeded my expectations. I had nothing to complain about. From the outside, you see a building that you may say, oh, it's old, but when you get inside, it's well maintained. The furniture is up to date. The people are friendly. The atmosphere is just caring and encouraging. The waiting room was very modern, very clean, very well maintained. The staff was professional, and they stayed on time with their schedule. Everything they said would happen, it happened in that order. The only issue I had was that they had to try several times to start my IV, and that's the norm. I can't help the fact that I don't have very good veins, but the procedure from start to finish was excellent. When we walked in, they took my escort's number and they immediately started texting her. Then they assigned her a number for my name, and she was able to look on a board and see my progress, every step that I had taken throughout the procedure. And when it's time to go home, we were released in a timely manner. Positive experience. I have absolutely nothing to complain about. And to date, I've had absolutely no major concerns. The recovery continues, and we're doing quite well. And 3 weeks later, I was again having another procedure. This time it was the Durham VA Medical Center. And I have to say, I went to the hospital with an open mind. The only expectation was to have a safe procedure and to go home. But let me tell you, the staff at that hospital went above and beyond any expectations I had. The minute I walked into that short stay unit on the morning of my surgery, I just knew things were going to be all right. Now, the first person I encountered was a registered nurse. She seemed to be working by herself, but let me tell you, she was calm, she was professional, and she was definitely in control. Shortly after she checked me in, another nurse came by, introduced herself, and my only request was to have a warm blanket. I just don't like being cold. I had so many blankets, it left a smile on my face, and then it seemed as if the entire hospital was coming by to greet me. First, it was the day nurse, then it was the IV nurse who came came by and started my IV. And let me tell you, she got it on the first try. That doesn't happen very often. Then two members of the surgical team, then the operating room nurse, then anesthesia, then my doctor, then another member of the surgical team. And then they had what's called a huddle where everyone involved in the care comes around, stands around your bed, and talks about what they were doing. And then a nurse anesthetist stayed with me until it was time for me to leave for the operating room. I don't remember much after that, but the next thing I do recall was being transferred to the OR table with a mask placed on my face, and then I was in recovery room and the nurse asking me about my pain level, but he made sure I was comfortable. Then it was back to my room for the night, where the nurses checked on me, and it seemed like they were checking on me every hour. But once I got up and walked around, they left me alone, and I was able to sleep off some of that anesthesia. Next morning, it was up, getting ready to go home, but before I left, there was my doctor, the surgical team, and anesthesia coming back again to see how I was doing. I can't say it enough. Those people took very, very good care of me. And so now I'm in my season of healing, but it's also my season of gratitude. Gratitude and grateful to the doctors, the nurses, the techs, everybody who was involved in my care. My surgical team was simply awesome. But I also want to mention my pre-op nurses for the special things they did for me. Thank you so very much. I also have a few names I want to mention. Definitely, again, the surgical team, to Miss Lucy, Miss Sheila, to Mario, and all of the others health professionals, not forgetting that recovery room nurse and the night nurse. I don't remember your name, but I can't remember everything, but I want you to know there is nothing negative that anybody can tell me about the VA healthcare. The professional staff simply just doesn't get the credit that they deserve. And from one health professional to another, I can say that because I know and I believe that it's true. And there's only one person that I saw as in a negative view, and that person to me was a roadblock, and that was the director's assistant. Because before I left the hospital, she has an open door policy, and I wanted to kind of share with her from a patient perspective exactly how I felt. But her assistant told me that I would have to talk to him. He gave me no other option, and he was pretty abrupt. So, Chris, do better, because if there's an open door policy, honor that. And there are some things that you could have done. You could have said, well, if she's not available, let me give you an option. Here's a card, or here's her number, or let me give you an appointment if you want to come back. But you gave me none of those options. So that was a bit negative, but it still does not change my perception of the quality of care. It just changed my perception of you. So it's a new day. And again, forever grateful for everything the VA does for me and for every other patient that they see. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.